Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today our group will present a case study about artificial blood. Before we start, I will introduce about our group. First one is Muhammad Faiz, Muhammad Nabil Fawaz, Adham Shamir and Aimi Umairah. So there are three objectives that we have obtained from this study. First one is to determine how artificial blood is made, to compare the effectiveness of artificial blood with a real blood, and then to determine pros and cons of artificial blood. So before further ado, let's start with some question. What is blood cell? Blood cell is a vital fluid that circulates throughout the body, delivering essential substances like oxygen, nutrient to cell and waste elimination. Blood cell is made from bone marrow that we call the process hematopoiesis. There are three components of blood: plasma, red blood cell and white blood cell. Plasma, or we known as thrombocyte, is the liquid of the blood that help maintain blood pressure, carrier for various substances and for blood clotting, as we know as coagulation. Second is red blood cell, also we know as leukocyte, carrying oxygen from the lungs to the body and then transport carbon dioxide from the body to the lung. And lastly, white blood cell. White blood cell is our friend. White blood cell is part of our immune system and defending the body against infection by beating the bacteria and virus. So we know about white blood cell. So what is artificial blood anyway? Artificial blood, also known as synthetic blood or blood substitute. This substance designed by the scientists to mimic some or all of the properties of natural blood. Artificial blood products have the potential to save life in emergency situation in case donated blood don't enough. There are two types of artificial blood substitute that scientists are working on. First one is perfluorocarbon emulsion, PFCS, and hemoglobin-based oxygen carriers, HbA1c.
I will explain to you the purpose of artificial blood. So the first one is maintaining oxygen flow to any cancerous tissues to make chemotherapy more effective. Secondly, delivery of oxygen to any brain tissues that damage after a traumatic brain injury. Third one is providing oxygen during surgery in case there is a significant of blood loss. Four is providing oxygen after and heavy blood loss from an injury. Materials to make artificial blood. So there are two types of materials that can be used to make artificial blood. The first one is perfluorocarbon emulsion or PFC. So it is a biological inert materials that can dissolve about 50 times more oxygen than blood plasma. This eliminates the real possibility of spreading infectious disease via a blood transfusion. The second one is hemoglobin-based oxygenated carriers or HBOCs. So artificial blood based on hemoglobin takes advantage of this natural function. They are not contained in a membrane, so the problem of blood typing is eliminated. And now the difference between artificial blood and real blood. Artificial blood is only for universal group O negative. Second, some have the life force of 1 to 3 years without refrigeration. Next, patients who receive artificial blood will not receive immunological reactions. The pH level for artificial blood is 7.1 until 7.2. Real blood. Real blood is applicable for group A, B, AB, and O blood users only. Second, life force for real blood is 42 days with refrigeration. Patient would receive series of health problems if they receive incompatible donated blood.
Hi, I'm Muhammad Faiz. Now I'm going to explain to you guys about the effectiveness of the artificials and real blood. The effectiveness of the artificial and real blood can be evaluated based on several factors, including the compatibility and safety, short-term use, oxygen carrying capacity, and lastly, coagulation properties. For compatibility and safety, real blood transfusions require careful blood type matching to prevent adverse reactions. Artificial blood products devoid of ABO blood types offer the potential advantages of universal compatibility. However, concern persists regarding the safety and the long-term effects on artificial blood substitutes, encompassing issues like tissue damage, immune response, and potentially toxicity. Next, on short-term use, artificial blood products may find limited applications in specific medical emergencies or scenarios requiring a temporary blood substitute. For instance, they might be used to stabilize a patient until the real blood can be obtained. Nevertheless, these substitutes have not received approval for long-term or widespread use as a complete replacement for real blood. Next, on oxygen carrying capacity. Real blood plays a crucial role in transporting oxygen to various tissues and organs through red blood cells and hemoglobin. Lastly, on coagulation properties. Real bloods contain platelets and clotting factors, essential components that contribute to formations of blood clots to stop bleeding. Artificial blood products typically lack this clotting ability. Next, I'm going to share with you guys about the common factor between artificial and real blood. Artificial blood is designed to function as a substitute for red blood cells. In contrast, real blood serves a multitude of diverse functions. However, there is one common factor between artificial and real blood is their purpose to carry oxygen throughout the body. Both types of blood are designed to transport oxygen to tissues and organs, allowing them to function properly. However, artificial blood also have advantages and disadvantages of using them. The first advantages of artificial blood is their availability. Artificial blood can be manufactured in a large quantities and it is not dependent on blood donations. These characteristics makes it readily available for emergency situations and in a region where access to donated blood may be limited. The next one is artificial blood is universal compatibility. In contrast to natural blood, artificial blood can be designed to be universally compatible with any blood type. This eliminates the needs for blood typing and cross-matching, simplifying the transfusions process and potentially allowing for quicker and more efficient treatment in emergency situations. The third one is a long shelf life. Artificial blood can have a longer shelf life compared to a donated blood, reducing the risk of shortage and wastage. Now we are moving on to disadvantages of the artificial blood. The first disadvantages of the artificial blood is it is limited in oxygen carrying capacity. Some artificial blood substitutes may have a lower oxygen carrying capacity compared to natural hemoglobin, limiting their effectiveness in certain situations. The second one is short half-life in circulation. Certain artificial blood products may have a short half-life in circulatory system, require frequent administrations. These characteristics could potentially increase the risk of side effects associated with repeated use. The third one is side effects. The use of artificial blood may be associated with side effects such as allergic reactions, inflammations, and other adverse events, which can pose a risk to the patient.
Hi, my name is Amima Ramindrasi and I'm going to explain the characteristic of artificial blood. First thing first, it must be compatible with human body. And for the second one, it must be safe to use and have minimal side effects. For the third one, it must be able to transport oxygen throughout the body and release it where it was needed. Or we can also call it perfluorocarbons. And the fourth one, it must be storable and durable so that it will last long than natural blood. And the last one, it must be free from toxins and pathogens. Next, I'm going to explain the importance of artificial blood. First is the blood supply shortage. Natural blood supplies are often insufficient to meet the demand of the transfusion, especially during emergencies and in remote areas. Next is easy to compatible. Artificial blood can be designed and be compatible with all blood types. Unlike the natural bloods, must be matched with the patient's blood type to avoid adverse reaction. The third one is avoid disease transmission. Natural blood carries a risk of transmitting infectious disease such as HIV, hepatitis B, and bacterial infections. On the other side, artificial blood is free from this risk. With all the studies that we searched, this is the conclusion that we found during the case study. Based on the case study, artificial blood is safe and valuable alternative to natural blood that offers several advantages like mentioned in this video. Other than that, the main reason of why the artificial blood was created was because the shortage of blood donates, and it was the best invention to solve it. Artificial blood has the potential to revolutionize medical research and treatment by allowing the creation of customized blood products that can deliver drugs or other therapeutic agents directly to the specific tissue or organs. Despite all the disadvantages, we hope that artificial blood could evolve and be so much better in the future.